I'm leaving my job, a six-figure engineering job, the kind of job that people tell you to hold on to, the kind of job that's supposed to make you feel secure, successful, and proud. And I'm not just leaving the job, I'm leaving the country. I'm moving to Japan. Not for a promotion, not for a relationship, just something deeper, something I've been quietly wrestling with for years. This video isn't about Japan being perfect. It's about why I've decided to take a leap and what it really means to walk away from a life that looks right on paper but doesn't feel like you. I remember sitting at my desk one day looking at my budget spreadsheet. I was planning for early retirement, mapping out how much I needed to save and invest, and when I'd hit that number, how I could be free and not have to work again. And then it hit me. Why am I building my life around escaping it? I realized I was living for a version of freedom that was always a few years away. And worse, even if I hit that number, I'd probably keep working anyway. Not because I had to, but because I always wanted to chase purpose within work. So why not live in a place that excites me now and still work, still grow, and still live? And that was one of the first cracks in the foundation. The moment I realized I wasn't waiting for a number, I was waiting for permission to live. And I decided I was done waiting. Japan wasn't some random fantasy. I'd been drawn to it for a long time. The culture, the contrast, the rhythm of life. When I visited, it felt different. I felt like I could breathe again. And even more than that, I felt curious again. I wasn't distracted or numbed out, I was present. I'm not romanticizing it. I know the work culture is traditional. I know the language is hard. I know it might be isolating at times, but that's kind of the point. I want to feel out of place. I want to try something new. I've lived most of my life in one place and in one lane, and I need to see what else is out there, not just in the world, but in me. This decision didn't happen all at once. I flip-flopped a lot. Some days I was fully committed. I've got to go. I'm tired of this. It's time. Other days I look around and I think, my life here is actually pretty good. I could make it better. Why not just stay? But even when things were going well, I felt like something was missing, like I was living on autopilot. And maybe the real fear wasn't change. Maybe the real fear was staying the same and realizing that time had passed and I never made any changes. There were even moments I questioned if I was just chasing a fantasy or if I was just running away from something. But honestly, it doesn't feel like running anymore. It feels like choosing. Choosing to do something bold, something different, something that makes my life feel more like mine. I didn't tell people outside my immediate circle, not because I was hiding it, but because I knew it would be misunderstood. The people around me are great, truly. But even if no one says anything out loud, I can feel the pressure. You're giving up a great job. Why leave a six-figure salary? Japan's hard. You'll be back. And maybe those are just voices in my head. I don't really know. But here's what I do know. You get judged either way. For staying, for leaving, for dreaming, or for settling. And if I'm going to be judged, I'd rather it be for doing something I actually want. This isn't about Japan, not really. Japan is just the starting point, the catalyst. But the real reason I'm leaving is alignment. I want to live in a place that helps me grow. I want to be challenged. I want to see how far I can stretch without breaking. And I've coasted long enough. I don't want to hover in the middle, not failing, not succeeding, just floating. I want to know what it feels like to go all in. And I'm not expecting perfection. I'm expecting struggle and I'm expecting discomfort. But for the first time, I'm inviting it. I think about it sometimes. What if I hate it? What if I run out of money? What if I get there and everything falls apart? And honestly, maybe it does. Maybe I move somewhere cheaper, like Vietnam for a bit. Maybe I bounce around Asia while I'm getting my business up and running. Maybe I come back to the States. And that's the risk. But what scares me more is staying where I am now and waking up 5 years from now in the same exact life wondering, what if I had just tried all those years ago? I don't want to live a life I tolerate. I want to live a life I'm excited to wake up in. I want to go for morning walks in a Tokyo neighborhood, study Japanese at a local cafe, and make friends I never would have otherwise met. I want to build things, share stories, help people. I want to feel alive, curious, and grounded. I want to be the version of myself that I used to dream about when I was stuck in the cubicle wondering what I was going to do with my life. So, yeah, I'm leaving a six-figure job. I'm walking away from comfort, from familiarity, and I don't have a perfect plan. I just have a direction. And for now, that is enough. If any part of this hits you, if you've ever felt stuck in life that looks good but doesn't feel right, just know you're not alone. You don't need permission to change your life. You just need the courage to follow what's already pulling at you. Before I made the decision, I asked myself a few hard questions, not because I had the answers, but because I needed to hear what was really going on inside my head. Here's what helped. Am I staying here because it's right or because it's familiar? Honestly, I was staying because it was familiar. I did everything right, but it didn't feel right. It felt like I was on someone else's path, and I didn't have anyone around me who could show me a different way. If money wasn't a factor, what would I actually want to do? I'd move somewhere new, somewhere that sparks creativity and curiosity, and I'd try building something on my own, a business that helps people, or even travel, or a food blog, not because it's flashy, but because it's something I like. What am I afraid will happen if I make the leap? And what am I afraid will happen if I don't? If I make the leap, I might fail. I might run out of money. I might end up back at a job I tried to leave. But if I don't try, I'll be stuck wondering, what if? And I don't want to become the person who always talks about the things they could have done, but never did. That's what really scares me. So if any of this hits you, not because you're moving to Japan, but because you're thinking about making a change, ask yourself those questions, not because I have the answers, but because they help me stop waiting and start moving. And that's it. Thanks for listening.